If you never drank turpentine and then did a 21-day water fast, breaking it with raw eggs and doing a cabbage juice enema to flush things out, are you really healthy? Or do you have the experience that I have? I doubt it. That's why I'm the guru here. I'm going to help 5 people if you don't mind. So if you ever have a question, post it down below. It might pique my interest and I may answer it on a show. Why do you say avoid dairy and egg? Please make a video on it or let me know if you already did. So if you're trying to heal yourself, if you're on a carnivore diet, it's an elimination diet. That's why you're healing, because you've eliminated any food that could have possibly irritated you. And usually those are plant protein type things, but in the animal kingdom, eggs and dairy are those foods. I hate to say the word autoimmune protocol because that's a paleo thing and the body does not attack itself. It's the dumbest theory we've ever had. It just attacks something in there and then it inflames the local tissues. Something like that is more plausible. But dairy and eggs just can do it for people. The egg whites are especially hard to digest, and if you can't digest something, it goes undigested and then breaks through your colon walls, and it's like, I'm a whole piece of food in your bloodstream, and then your body's like, what the hell is that? And it's sending things to attack it, and just back off that whole train and eat meat, just fatty meat, and avoid the dairy and eggs. For me, dairy causes colitis. I will literally bleed out of my ass for months straight if I eat dairy. For eggs, I don't know what happens. I should be able to digest it eventually, and then I can eat eggs again. But for right now, just avoid them if you're healing something. I always get these comments like, I eat eggs, there's no problem, you moron. Some people don't have the problem. If you're trying to heal something, avoid the eggs for now. I'm not looking at super healthy man over here. I can eat whatever I want. I'm like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Peanut butter on eggs is the best. It's not. How much protein are you aiming for on your 1 meal a day OMAD diet? I don't aim. I live. I live it. Usually, I don't measure it because if you have a piece of meat, you have no idea if chronometer is accurate. They just say like ribeye steak. I've seen ribeyes with no fat on them and then a huge hunk of surrounding fat. In Thailand, they were the fattiest things I've ever seen. He started to slice it off. I was like, no, that is white gold. You leave that on, homeboy. So fatty meat, like you don't know, just eat to satiation. What I try to do is just eat meat, but eat lots of beef tallow. It could be healthy. So like I'm trying to add so much fat and just like be intuitive. I need a bit more fat. Yes. This does taste good, this lard. Since I'm on a carnivore diet, my only thought about protein is, can I lower it somehow? Because I already know I'm getting way enough. So it's good enough 1 meal a day, and I skip that day on the 7th day. So it's like, protein is not even an issue. If I'm eating like ground beef, I'll have usually like 1.5 pounds of ground beef, and then a bunch of extra fat. We're good to go. So like I never think about trying to get more protein. That's the dumbest. Plenty strong enough. Just pay attention to your body. If you're constipated, it's likely that you're consuming too much protein. Every carnivore I've ever heard was like, oh yeah, when I just eat like a whack load of meat, it's just it gets plugged up there. So like I'm always trying to up the fat to extreme levels and just be careful. Don't eat rendered fat because if it's liquid, it'll make you super nauseous. So like just don't eat too much of anything. How often should you eat liver? I was surprised I didn't hate it. Didn't love it. It easier. Never mind. Okay. In my opinion, you listen to the body. I like the taste of liver now. For some reason, my body needs those nutrients. Vitamin A is not a toxin. Every video I make about liver, someone down there, you should read Grant Genero's book. I've made it. I've made videos about it. I've read some of it. It was boring as hell. I've heard his interviews. I've heard the nutrition detective. It's the dumbest theory on earth that vitamin A is a toxin. If it was, why would we convert some beta carotene into vitamin A if it was a toxic warfare thing? We do it on purpose because we need it. And vegans, I don't know, there's a lot of debate that they don't get enough vitamin A from the beta carotene. The conversion rate's very low. It's like 4% or something. It's like, why is that? It's an obvious thing. It's in foods. And like my skin cleared up so much eating liver and putting the rice water on the face. You've seen the video. So it's like, liver is good to me. Just, can you eat too much of it? You sure could. You sure could. So some people, maybe you get worse on vitamin A because your stores are already high. It's like, don't even have to worry. You convert like a superstar with the beta carotene. So it's like, oh, I have zero worry. If I eat more vitamin A, I get sicker. That could be it. So like, listen to your body. I seem to need it. I go by taste, and I just have it for a few days in a row. Usually I like thaw a package. It's like, say, a pound of liver. I put it in the fridge. I'll eat it over the next few days, and then I take a few breaks. And then I have that dry fast, and everything's balanced when you fast 1 day a week. It's like, no matter what your mistakes you're making throughout the week, boom, you reset the button. I never measure how much I'm eating, though. I just take a certain amount out, and then I try to eye it like, okay, split that up into thirds or fourths, because it's not going to last like 5 days in the fridge. It's starting to get funky at that point. And I do cook it. I prefer cooked liver. Raw is a squishy, disgusting mess. No thank you. I'm a long-time Camera Conspiracies follower, but lately starting to watch Vegetable Police, and I enjoy the slightly more serious content. I have a question. 99% of the information you can always find about talks how to lose weight on different diets, exercise, fasting, but little information about how to, if you struggle to gain weight, what should you do in that case? First, I would ask, why are you trying to gain weight? Are you trying to be like a magazine model that you saw and you feel like, I'm not a man, the skirt doesn't fit me right? Just so many men are trying to build an obscene amount of muscle, and I just wonder why you're doing it. I love my lean body. I'm super lean. It's like barely any fat. Fasting that 1 day a week really helps. Eating 1 meal a day, it's like 6 meals a week is what I do. I ain't trying to gain weight. I'm gaining strength. Sometimes I lose strength. I did 60 push-ups the other day. I used to be able to do 67. I'm not as strong as I was pounding it in every day, but I'm focused more on health and skin health. My skin's much better than the guy that could do 67 push-ups. So it's like, I don't care that I lost a tiny bit of endurance. Most of my other feats of strength are equal or better still. So it's like, whatever, endurance suffers. Do you really need to gain weight? Just ask yourself why. The fatter you are, the sicker you become, the less long you live. Muscle is good to have for strength, protects your bones, you're a man, but like too much is stupid, and like you almost don't have to think about it. If you're just eating carnivore 1 meal a day, you put on muscle. You'll put on enough muscle, but you're eating tons of food, mostly animal-based protein, been doing calisthenics for 4 months. What would your advice be? Zen carnivorous broccoli face officer. Thank you. So if you actually needed to gain weight, which I seldom think you do, you would eat more protein for the muscle, more fat for the body fat. But it's very hard to even put on body fat eating tons of fat. So like if you really wanted to pack on a couple pounds, you'd be adding carbs into the mix and eating it with fat. And then you're Randall cycling your way through life where it's like, oh, I burn the sugar, store the fat. For me, I hate the whole concept. Just eat to satiation, fatty meat, lots of fat, and then fast as much as humanly possible, and you'll be a man. Real men cry. They don't lift. They cry their hearts out. So it's like, you don't need to gain weight. I bet if I saw your body, I'd be like, holy shit, you need to lose some weight. You're already so strong and big. Stupid big jock. So like, relax. Who are you trying to impress? Impress your own mind. You think Teal Swan will have sex with you? She won't. She doesn't have sex with meat eaters. So like, you're a manly man, but you can't even have sex with Teal Swan because she prefers a sensitive vegan. So it's like, oh, I'm manly. I'm a meat eating. Look at my muscles. But Teal Swan won't have sex with you. So are you really a man? I don't think you are. So like, do something better. All right, last question here. What are your thoughts on psychedelics for spiritual stuff? It can be done. I've heard stories where like you take magic mushrooms and oh my God, I talked to an elf and he told me that I needed to do this in my life and it completely changed my life. It's like a shortcut that you could have got with meditation, but like you wanted to boost into this new world. I don't know. I don't like losing control for hours of my body. Like when I did ayahuasca, it's like you're throwing up for hours. Did I benefit from that? I've taken lots of magic mushrooms, never for spiritual reasons, just to laugh my ass off. But it's like you take it and then it kicks in. And if you don't like that feeling, you're effed for like 5 hours. Do you want that? I hate that feeling. Whereas now I'm just like eating and fasting. That's a nice feeling. I'm in control. I don't like these substances. Oh, drink coffee and now you're jittery and you're affected. I just would rather not take the psychedelics. Could it change my life spiritually? Maybe it would. But like for me, I don't know. I don't think it's needed. And everyone I've ever talked to that like meditates and is actually spiritual says you get the same benefits just doing it yourself. So like that's probably the better choice. You could throw some experiments around, but like for me, no thank you. I've helped you. I helped you quite a bit. Huh? The guru? That's me. Are you thumbing up the video? Thumbs down if you're making an electrolyte drink right now. To it, you're adding cayenne pepper, turmeric, calcium, and zinc. What am I? Just random words are entering my mind with no purpose. I just looked at my crazy electrolyte drink that's super natural. You know what's funny? I just bought these flavorings, natural flavorings, Watson's, like cherry flavor. And I was like trying to make the ultimate, because this is just like an electrolyte powder, but it has stevia and natural flavors, and it's so tasty and fun. So I wanted to do that myself, but it just tastes so fake. I was putting xylitol in there and then cherry powders, and it's not right. It wasn't a powder, it was a liquid. What did that have to do with anything? I'm not sure, but I probably should have just left. I'll go now. You subscribing for more videos on Alex?